Okay, so let's move on to part 2 of this first lesson. So let's move on to part 2. Let's move this. Okay, all right, part 2. So part 2, we will do a problem such as EI. Okay, EI. EI looks like this. We have negative x squared. We have minus y squared. Okay, and that is squared. This is lesson 3A, I. So this is I, 8I. So when we have that squared, again, we can extend it. So we have negative x squared minus y squared. Okay, and then again, because that's squared, so that means there's 2 of them, and they're being multiplied. So there we go. Okay, so first, this term times that term. We have negative and negative. So when we multiply these, we want to multiply the coefficients first. This is like a negative 1 and a negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. So I just put x. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Okay, outer. Negative x squared times negative y squared. So that's negative and negative. Negative times negative is a positive again. So plus. And because they are different variables, you just write them down. We want to write the x first. It's alphabetical order because that comes up in the next one. Negative y squared times negative x squared is again a positive, and you want to write that x squared, the x first. Then negative squared times negative squared is a positive y to the 4th power. Then you're going to combine like terms, and you're going to combine the middle. They are like terms because they both have the same variables and the same exponents. So that becomes x to the 4th plus 2x squared y squared plus y to the 4th. Okay, because that's one of these. As one of these, we added up. The variables stay the same, and the coefficient. Okay. Things to remember about these types of problems. All right. Things to remember about these types of problems is when you have problems like this, it's important to remember that yes, after you multiply them, for example, let's look back at 3A6, some of these problems, 3A6. So if I had, for example, 3A6, 3A number 6, let's say 3A6B, okay? So let's say I had 5P minus 2, and then 5P plus 2, okay, minus P, and that's 3P minus 1. Okay, 3P minus 1. All right, so if I have this, first I multiply these two terms, this one times this term, then I can multiply this, then I'm going to combine them all, because the parentheses will go away. So FOIL this, 5P times 5P is 25P squared. Outer, 5P times 2 is 10P. Inner, that's negative 10P. And then last, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Notice the parentheses don't exist anymore. I can multiply this, negative P times 3P is negative 3P squared. Negative P times negative 1 is positive P. Now, notice the parentheses are all gone. So what I can do is I can combine like terms. So this and this is a like term. Okay, these are like terms. The P's, 10P, so let's put a square around that one, and a square around this one, and here's a P at the end here. Okay, so let's put a circle around this. Notice I'm including the sign in front of it. That tells you what you should do. So that's 25 minus 3, which is 22 p squared. This is 10 minus 10. That gets rid of that, leaving me with just plus p. And then the minus 4 comes with it. There's nothing with the minus 4. So that's my final answer. Okay, my final answer with that one.